to skull V2K technology, and I had learned about demons, and I had learned and researched and studied and really sought my soul out. But
Stay away from all women.
then, oh gee, here I go forgetting again.
It's okay. It'll come to you. Just take your time. Got all the time in the world, Bill.
Okay, cool. But, oh yeah, like, there we go again. I remember and forget. I don't know. Oh yeah, get this. 4 months ago, I'm such a dick. 4 months ago, I think it was, it dawned on me that I am electronically surveilled, and there was someone by, I have his name written down somewhere in my red book. I won't get it for now, but he was on the Kev Baker show, and he explained about electronic surveillance. I about was floored. I'm like, is this guy talking about me? I'm scared to reach out. I wrote to Kev Baker and Anthony Patch. I was a little bit too shy to reach out to this one speaker. I think his name was like Carl Strom or something. But I was floored, and yeah, I'm definitely in TI and still trying to come to terms with
I find devices occasionally, but anyway, and this is weird just because well hell, I got an orbs that fly around me that are different, multicolored, that others have even seen as well, but
I'll trade you yours for mine.
just recently I was getting ready to take a shower. This was last night, as a matter of fact, and I had the little kitten in the bathroom with me. Keeping in mind that I've probably went through, I don't know, several hundred tubes of caulk in this place since I've lived in it. But anyway, back to the story. I'm getting the bathroom ready to take me a shower, and I get the little baby kitten in there with me. And normally, he sits on the toilet, and he goes from there to the edge of the shower. You know, he's not scared of water. He sometimes wants to play with the water. And I'm calling him because I'm getting ready to shampoo my hair, and it's always funny. He'll peep around there, and I'll take the shower. It's one of them handheld deals, and I'll squirt him. And it's just something we do. Well, it's tradition. We do this every time I take a shower. I'm hollering, and I know he's locked in the bathroom. I know he's locked in the bathroom, but he's not answering me, and it's freaking me out. And I peep around the shower curtain, and he's like awestruck, and he's staring at the floor 6 inches in front of him at something. And I'm looking at it, and I see what looks like thread coming off of this ball. Now this ball is the size of it's a little bit larger than a raisin. It's perfectly round. I mean, a perfect spear. Perfect. And it had a wire, but this wire was less in diameter than dental floss, and it was about 8 inches long. Anyway, he's sitting there staring at that thing, and the more it's fucking with me. What the fuck is that, and where would it come from? So I jump out of the shower, and I pick this thing up, and it's a ball with a long wire on it. And I thought, well, ain't that some shit? And the wire is entirely limp, like thread would be. And I freak out, and I'm just crazy. I'm a nutcase. Anyway, I go throw it in the trash in the kitchen. I get back in the shower. Anyway, I have you know that I got out of the shower and I got done, and that thing was still on top of the trash can. I just knew I was going to come out here and look at it when I got out of the shower. And when I got out of the shower and come out here, there it is. It's standing up in the trash can, and that wire is sticking straight up. It's as hard as can be. I don't know what the fuck it is. I don't know what it was. And you know, these things happen on occasions, and I can't just break every one of them down and digest it. It's one of them instances where, well, oh shit, we got to get that out of the house and get it away from us. We're not even going to think about what it is. Just get rid of it.
Can I tell you what I would personally do? And forgive me if I insult anyone here, but personally,
yeah,
I would grab my Holy Bible, go back out to the fire pit, get it nice and white hot with flames, and then I would take that thing and burn it until it was gone. That's what I would do with it.
Yeah, they do a lot of
And then
crazy stuff to
afterwards,
us.
I probably, you know, ask God to help me read some Holy Bible verses that are appropriate for the moment, and I would burn that thing and get rid of
Yeah.
it.
And them orbs I was telling you about, initially, people suggested they may be stars. And the more awareness I brought to the topic in my local area, people, you know, hey, it happened to be at my house. Hey, show me one of them orbs you talking about. Now, keep in mind that a star has no centralized point of light. It's basically a light source. Okay, so when you see light coming from a star, it's going to be all around it. It's the entire thing is the light. And these whatever the fuck they are, the light is typically very prominent on two sides. But and sometimes the lights flicker, and sometimes they change elevation. They can move. They can do all kinds of cool shit. So you know, people want to see them. You know, and it happens. Well, here recently, in the last 6 months, because you know I try to look at those very often, they can do this thing where they change colors, and I have had several people see them change colors, see them move, see them hover, and because they have no other rational explanation, they can only deduce that they must be stars. And must be new stars that we're not aware of yet.
Very interesting, my dear Watson. I'm just busting chops, I'm sorry. Very interesting. I, you know, try to keep up on news and keep myself educated. But, you know, sometimes I talk about it on my web pages, but
it's hard to
Oh,
do.
do you want to tell the people in here? Because I don't think they've heard your story at the experiences that you had at Ultra. I think
I felt like a 2-minute. I hate Perth. I gave a face-to-face conference March 2nd, and I wrote a little biography. It'll probably take me 2 or 3 minutes to read, but maybe I could just read that to you, and it would keep me on point.
Yeah,
and
sure. Whatever you're comfortable with.
Myself.
Yeah, whatever you're comfortable with, mate.
All right, because otherwise I babble on and say the wrong things.
And Holly, or excuse me, Donna, chat's wondering if Holly happens to have is there a contact available for her public, like a channel or something? And is she allowed to tell us her channel name or links or?
It's in chat, mate. I just dropped it in chat.
Okay.
Okay, well, I'm on YouTube and Facebook. I closed down a lot of other accounts. I changed my phone number, so it's limited and private. No offense and no disrespect to people. It's just I can't keep up. And I love everybody so much, but I really have to take care of myself. So, but I have www.hollybaglio.com, but I forgot to pay a bill, so that's probably not going to be up for a couple of days, and that kind of sucks, because what I wanted to read you was on there, and I can't.
Well, that's okay. Just, yeah, I mean, your own words is fine, and it doesn't matter if it's not on.
Oh, I'm a sucker for beautiful women.
I just want people to hear as to what extent this goes to, because people find it very hard to believe, you know, so.
Right, but, you know, as fantastical as my bio is, I want an opportunity to find my bio, and read it.
Yeah.
It's more poignant, excuse me, and it should be on my computer. Forgive me, I'm feeling a little anxious. Oh wait,
Hey, listen, we're all mates here. I know everybody that's here, and everybody is understanding. They're all good people, so There's no need to feel nervous or anxious or any of that stuff, because if any of them step out of line, I'm going to whip their ass, Holly.
Okay, but I'll give them a treat. I think I found my bio. I hope I saved it from my webpage, because the one from my onhollybaglio.com was really, really good. And boy, I hope I saved it. Huh. I'm trying to pull it up. Forgive me, forgive me.
It's okay.
Oh, it's still opening. It takes a while, I guess, because I have an older version.
That's alright.
I do have parts of it written down, but it's not as good as the one that I had on my computer. Oh, jeez. As he said,
Richard, what are you talking about? Willis? That's okay, I'm just giving you some time, huh?
okay.
I'll talk to chat, and I'll talk to everybody else on the panel, and when you're ready, just holler out. So what's new with you, Grey Dude? Come in, Houston, Grey Dude. We have a problem. He's on the phone. I would assume he's on the phone. Sound, can you there?
Yeah.
Okay. I know he is because I can hear him.
Huh? What?
I think.
But yeah, I just don't know, people. I don't know. This is, like I said, it's becoming a joke when I hear people say that we're living in an awesome, an awesome time to be alive.
It is good and bad.
You know, I don't get where the awesomeness is. Maybe it's just me, but I'm still
Hey.
looking for the awesomeness.
Donna, you want to know what the awesomeness is? You want to know what the awesomeness is?
What?
I love pineapple.
Beautiful.
That's not the awesomeness. The awesomeness is I have a pineapple growing in my bedroom. And when the little bitty baby chicks, which I also have in my bedroom, wake me up 5 o'clock a.m. because they're hungry, and I get to look over and I get to see that pineapple and know that that beauty is a direct extension of the beauty within me. And that no matter what shit this world and the shitty people in it put me through, that beauty that I woke up to is something they can't change and they can't take away from me. And without the shit of this world and the shitty people in it, I never would have ever had the opportunity to take actual notice and actual active participation in that beauty. And I am a creator here. And I know that because of the things that I've had the ability to experience. So I can only deduce that as shitty as a world as we are in, it is awesome too at the same time.
And thank you for saying that, Heath, because many times as my kids have had, like I've said before, of reminding me, and sometimes we all need that reminder, you know, we all need that reminder, and that's why I suppose too, I'm kind of where I am at the moment, because I'm so missing. All of my life I've had a furry friend, you know, whether it be 1, 2, 5, whatever. I've always had a furry friend, and I think that's what's missing in my life at the moment, is a furry friend to distract me. But I can't do anything about it at the moment, so yeah, but like you say, when you do look at that stuff and it kind of gives you, it makes you forget everything else.
Yeah.
You know, just makes you forget everything else. I mean, I was feeding my birds this morning, and you can tell with the magpies as to whether they're still babies or whether they're fully grown. Because the babies still have greyish kind of fluffy feathers on them.
Yeah.
Whereas when they're fully grown, they're like a shiny black, pristine sort of a look to them. And this little baby is looking at me, and I threw him some meat. And he's eating, and he's checking me out, and he's eating, and he finished. And then I thought, well, I'm going to teach him to come take it out of my hand. I'm going to let him know that it's all good. And I'm looking at him, and I'm thinking, like, he's so weary of me. You know what I mean? Like, even though he knows I've given him food, but he's still kind of, like, cautious, and I've had mints on the end of my fingers, and I'm holding it out, and I'm trying not to eyeball him, but I'm sending him my vibes at the same time. And instead of, because he was in such a hurry, and obviously still somewhat scared, instead of grabbing the mince, he thought that the mince on the top of my finger was part of the mince. And I had to laugh, and I scared the poor fucker. I mean, not that it hurt when he grabbed it, but I thought, damn, you know, he was so whatever's. But anyway, just sitting there, like, watching things like that and trying to show them that you mean no harm takes you to a whole different place.
Yeah.
So thank you for saying that.
Yeah. It's so easy for us to get caught up in what they want us to get caught up in.
Absolutely.
And I do it myself. We all do it. And the only...
I can help subscribe to you guys, too.
What? Excuse me? What, Holly? What?
I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I can help distract you guys, too, and show you more rabbit holes to fall down.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. There are lots of them.
Perth, and I'm sorry, and with the panel's approval, may I read to you my...
Yeah, go for it, mate. Go for it. We were just shooting the breeze while you were ready.
All right, I'm so sorry, forgive me, but I gave this testimony.
No apologies needed. No apology needed.
Okay, so I just want to tell you, March 2nd at a huddle with Coach Dave Daubenmeyer, he and 4 other ministries ordained me, but he does huddles, and I hightailed it out to him, and he allowed me to give my testimony, and he recorded it, and that was the second time, and that was face to face, and it was a huge thing for me to do. But so I tried to write something down, and boy, I hope it comes out good. And so here's who I am. I'll just speak from my heart, forgive me. I was born September 12, 1974, and raised by my grandparents, William and Millie Gaver, in Fort Hills, New Jersey. My grandfather was SCI U.S. Navy in World War II. My grandmother was a military wife. He would come home and tell my grandmother how the military would give him and the other soldiers LSD and marijuana just to see what it would do. I believe it started there, and with other factors such as Project Looking Glass, that is how I came to be trafficked by my military and government. I was in many projects relating to super soldier programs and MK Ultra mind control in underground military bases and above ground government facilities. I was born into Black-funded Black operations projects supported by our tax dollars at the hands of our government and military, controlled by elite families. I came forward as a whistleblower that has personal experience and am still in recovery. I've done 40 interviews in approximately 2 years to show what one goes through, so others know they are not alone and where to turn for help. I am a survivor of pedogate/pizzagate. Aliens have abducted me, and when I was a child multiple times. When they took me to Saturn, I lost my speaking abilities. I was about 6 years old. Anyway, I digress. Back to what I wrote. And that was just the beginning. I recall being on a black ops team and being inside the domes, deep underground military bases when I was in my late teens to early 20s, working in front of a Seagate, going into dimensions as well as to different places, planets, etc. I was involved in the SSP, Secret Space Program. December 2014, when I woke up from MKUltra program, I lost my ability to speak for 9 months as I began recalling being locked in a cage and being electrocuted along with many other children as the hypnotism and programming broke down. My alters began rejoining my core/raw personality. I recall being on assignments and missions, similar to being a Manchurian candidate. In my normal life, I went to a community college for accounting. I worked for AT&T and Pharmacia as an executive administrative assistant. I was a published, accomplished poet. I loved martial arts, still to this day, but I don't train. I wish I did. Anyway, not to digress. My grandfather passed away when I was 13 years old. At 28, my grandmother was ill with emphysema. I stayed home and gave her at-home hospice care. My father passed away when I was 25 years old, and we had a beautiful relationship. In 2004, I became ill with Lyme's disease, and it tore my body apart. Currently, my cat, dog, and I rent a place on a farm, living free. I do not take any prescription pills, no illegal drugs, and am still breaking free of bondage and chains. I am fully disabled. I am aiming to one day achieve full recovery from all of my disabilities, as well as total recall of my super soldier memories. My heart's desire is to be Yeshua HaMashiach's disciple. I made a one flesh covenant with Julio Cuando on May 18, 2018 by the Electric Brook, Long Valley, New Jersey. As a whistleblower, I came forward when Max Spears died. I wish to expose these things and explain that they are still happening to our children. Kids are still suffering from these military and government programs executed in the privacy of these domes, monasteries, homes, etc. By coming forward, I feel I get to go back for the kids who are still locked in a cage. I did not forget about them. The end.
Yeah. Well, Holly, thank you for sharing, and I just wanted to just interject something here. Although what you said may describe your being, it does not have to ever define it.
You okay?
Well, that's a good lesson for me to learn.
Somebody was asking, Richard was asking you, were they in the Utah area, the underground installations?
In Utah, I don't know. I was in San Antonio, Texas, Nelson, Canada, Montauk, New York, a couple places in the UK, Bimini, and I think possibly somewhere in Yemen. And Antarctica is fuzzy to me, so I can't, it's hard for me to speak to that.
Anybody got any questions in chat? Or on the panel, for that matter?
Yeah, what do you think about that Lyme disease? You don't believe in coincidence, do you?
No, I think it was created.
Well, yeah, yeah, Plum Island. I mean, but the fact that you got it was more specifically what I was saying.
It destroyed me.
Yeah.
It really did. It destroyed me.
Huh. A government project. What better of a way to get rid of a government project than with a government project? I mean, it's just I'm not laughing. I'm not. You know, it's just it's fucked up. Yeah. Oh shit. This is a shitty world sometimes. It really is. I think though that if people got to a more known position, I don't like to use the word aware because a ware is something that can be bought, sold, traded, or transferred, and I don't believe a soul can, so I don't really like to use the word aware. But if we would all get to the point where we were knowledgeable on more subjects that have tangible value than the useless distractions, currency, fucking jobs and schedules and time clocks and blah,
Yeah,
fucking blah.
We'd be better off.
Yeah, yeah. And the Department of Children, there's a lot of things, like a lot of, you know, Walt Disney, the only reason that Walt Disney ever got into the whole theme park business was a way of trafficking children. That is for no other purpose than to sell children. I mean, and the Department of Children's Services, they're no better. You know, you want to take a kid, they take kids from a crackhead, and then they're what's the actual statistic? They're 8 times more likely to be molested while in state's custody than they are living a life with a drug-addicted mother. That's just one statistic.
Hey, do you know how I know that? Because my eldest used to work for Child Protective Services.
It was evil.
She pretty much left because she said to me, she goes, Mum, I can't bear the thought of taking children away from their mother. She left.
And they're evil. They were evil. And like, so, like some programs you get into, like the one I was not raised in, but the one that I lived in for a time, the agency paid the foster parents, and the amount that they were paid depended on variables. One of those variables was which county the specific child or children was from. And what they would do, their practice was, if you were from a county that paid them a good deal of money, you got to live in the basement, and it was cool. It had a TV, and it had all kinds of stuff, and it was just nice. If you, however, were from a county that did not pay the foster parents a good bit of money, they had you sleep in the unfinished attic. And in the summer, that thing was every bit of 120 degrees. And it was considered perfectly normal and acceptable. And it didn't matter if you spoke out about it. It didn't matter if you called your caseworker. There was no hope for you. And that was not an isolated incident. The Department of Children's Services is a corrupt and crooked to the core organization, period. Richard Schoen says that he's going to spend some time on your channel and study your stuff, Holly.
Oh wow, look what that wrote just in the chat. It was the Holly, some crazy doctors electrocuted me as well as a child. Put feet and legs in tubs of water, strapped our arms to a chair, then put an electric current through the water.
And enough Thorazine, and you don't remember none of it. You'll have like months that are just like gone. They don't even exist anymore.
Excuse me for just being quiet for a moment. I can understand and relate. I'm sorry that you had to suffer that. Forgive me, sometimes I wish the things I was thinking would just come out of my mouth, but I always say the wrong things. I am just really sorry you had to suffer like that. That's no way to live.
Wow, then they would turn up the dials and check and see how much we could take. Dad would take me there every week. Professor he was. Wow.
Yeah, trauma-based torture.
Well, all I've got to say is I love you guys lots.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying, all I've got to say is I love you guys lots. I love you for sharing. I love you for putting out there so that people can see that this stuff, because it's so fucking hard to believe, that people can see this is not just one person, this is not an isolated incident, this is going on and it has been going on for a very long time.
Yes. But it's nice to be around like-minded people who are awake and aware, and thank you so much, Bert. I really appreciate it. Sorry?
Sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to say that I only just caught the end of that. I had my own run-in with the Jesuit cult when I was about 12, so yeah, I feel for you. And I've heard this story from a lot of people in different levels too, going from ritual abuse to full-on MK Ultra and super soldier training. So I know how real it is, and I really feel for you.
Video Rama. Okay, this isn't actually a piece. This is a piece for someone who.
Thank you very much.
Manages the farmers market in Fort Byron. This is how
Forgive me.
So
really, I think society, humanity, okay, for the people that haven't gone through any of that, for the people who have grown up with a family in a supposed, if you can call it a normal way, without any of the abuse, without any of that kind of stuff. I think people seriously need to start waking up, because it's not going to stop. Again, we go back to those same fucking words. Silence is consent. Instead of bashing each other and saying you're bullshitting just because somebody hasn't experienced it or gone through it, instead of bashing people and making people feel like shit, we need to actually start doing something to put a stop to it, to put an end to it. This can't continue. There is no fucking happy ending.
I would never know where to start to put an end to it. I really wouldn't.
It's on the list of most people's things that they will not see. You can put it right in front of them. It's just too shocking to be real.
Yeah, I nailed it that time.
Well, that's the thing, and that's what makes it so unbelievable to people. You know what I mean? It makes, you know, people like listen to it. It sounds, and in all honesty, and I don't want to be using this fucking word because you guys know. I mean, I haven't been through what you guys have been through, but I've been through, you know, my sort of stuff. And I get it. I get the fact that people can't comprehend it. If they haven't experienced it, it just doesn't, they find it hard to put it into your brain. It's kind of like you're listening to somebody describing a movie because you know shit like that shouldn't be happening. And you can't relate to it. You know what I mean? You can't fucking relate to it. It's not because you go through something, then you start going, hang on a minute. You know what I mean? The fact is, we have no idea who has gone through what in their life because we all walk a different path. We've all experienced different things, and with society being the way that it is, it doesn't surprise me. You know, none of this surprises me anymore. But
it's like that,
come on, people. No, I'm saying, people need to stop
And
shitting on people when
excited
people
to
come out and
see
share
it, but
their
I haven't been to the post
experiences,
office
you know?
yet. Like,
I mean,
wanted to
can
go
you
to the
imagine?
post office,
Like,
but I can't burn off
being
gas.
I can't even
So,
fucking imagine
actually, I
it.
think
I
I'm gonna
can't.
be going in
The only
town
thing
in the
that
next
kind of
day or
even
so,
comes
so
close to my
I'm
mind
actually,
is if I was,
excited to see
I
it.
don't know, fucking put a visual in my head of something in a movie that I saw to even remotely come close to what they're talking about. And Gut says in chat, my dad raised me sexually when I was only 14 to my high school Catholic art teacher. There is a current New South Wales police investigation into the matter of my sexual abuse as a young person. Wow.
And my batteries are bugging out, I think. All kinds of errors.
But yeah, compassion, people. Find some compassion, find some fucking understanding, and most of all, realise that silence is consent. There is an end to this as long as people come together, like Holly said, you know, shoulder to shoulder. It's not about one person doing something, it's about all of us getting together. Oh, Mother Nature, hey, sorry, I was going to say hello to you, but then I got my eyes got distracted elsewhere.
Thanks for stopping by, buddy.
But yeah, just don't shit on people when they do come out and say stuff, because you haven't walked your path. You have not been on their journey. And if you find it hard to understand, that's okay, because you haven't lived it. Just don't fucking put people down.
Oh, my spook. No, that's not my spook, it's my baby.
So he's really like, talking to Father Harris is kind of like reading Wikipedia, because he has...
Everybody's right, and that's okay.
Hey, are you just wanting me to go get a bird and let y'all look at a bird?
I was reading the chat.
I'll go get you a nice pretty bird, let you look at one of these little babies.
Yeah, that's what has to happen, is that people realise it's real. You know, I can't help it even bristle sometimes when I hear guys that have served in the army, and you know, I'm proud of that too, because to me, and TP knows that all the patriots, all the ex-vets know it, that I know, you know, that I'm incredibly proud of anybody who will lay down their life for another human being. It is the ultimate sacrifice. But there's other people fighting a war that they can't see, and I'm a fucking veteran. I'm Purple Heart.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's the thing is in those cases, not that it's a good thing, Trev, but my heart goes more, I guess, out to when you stop and look what's going on with children, because they can't defend themselves, they don't have a voice, and even if they have a voice, they're not in a position to go up against adults, and hence it's day in and out, you know what I mean, of constant abuse.
Yeah, and they're babysat by the TV, the monster that attacks their minds. So they're getting attacked on both sides, day and night. And because they're defenseless, they'll take on, their brain is physically formulating its thought paths. So it will take on whatever's offered as a reality.
Look at the screen, look, Perf, look, Donna, look at what I got. It's a little baby. Can you not see my screen?
Hang on a minute.
She's going to present you, Davey.
Oh, present it. Yeah, that'd be neat.
Oh, look. Hang on. Oh, look. Hello, baby.
It's a little baby bird.
Puppy. I love it.
Yeah. Sleeping with chickens is fun.
I might be able to have chickens up and moving soon.
It's your baby.
Moving to the country, gonna raise me some chickens.
It's a lot of fun. I mean, they grow like It's weird. It's in days. Like one day they don't really eat nothing, and then all of a sudden they go from this eating nothing to a couple days later that's all they do is eat, and it's just birds in general are a good experience for anyone, and chickens are one of them.
That takes me back to when my folks had a farm. It takes me back to then because I just remember all the geese having bubbies, and all the ducks having bubbies, and the turkeys having bubbies, and the chickens were having bubbies, and there was just bubbies of all sorts all over the joint. And everybody was fluffy and nice to hold and nice to play with, and yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. It makes me know that I'm alive. And back to what you were saying earlier, this awesomeness is the indirect result of the shitty world that I've been forced to live in. And it was learning how to exist and how to adapt to the shitty world that put me in a position where this particular skill set had to come into play. So in some weird, twisted sense, I'm kind of thankful for the shitty world that I live in. Because I don't know that I would have had these experiences otherwise. There was a time where making enough money to pay the bills, get me a bag of dope, and a hot piece of ass on Friday night was the only thing that truly mattered to me. And now there's those. Now what truly matters is, are my chickens happy? Are the plants which I'm going to grow and produce food for my local community, am I on schedule? The things that matter to me are the result of the bad of this world. So,
the thing is, mate, and this I encourage people to start talking about stuff, because people are living in a fantasy bubble. They live in a fantasy bubble. They don't think that there is anything more than their mobile phone and fucking sports days. They're in a fantasy bubble. Yeah. Hence is why I always say to people, even if you just do live streams, you don't have to do videos, whatever. Share your experience. Keep telling people. Turn the fucking comments off, because you don't want to see assholes' comments, right? Yeah. Not that everybody's an asshole. No, they're not. But you're going to find some that are, and they'll leave those comments, which discourages people from talking about it.
Yeah.
And people should. You've got to share it.
And as you spiritually grow, your world changes. I can walk out into the woods in the middle of the day, see a wild snake, and kneel down and pick that snake up and have a conversation. I don't know how. I don't know why. But there's something about my being and something about the natural beings that resonate with each other. And the world that I'm in now is so far removed from the world that is typical nowadays. And what words can't convey. I can't convey through words what my day's like on a normal, take live streams and false flag shootings and all this shit out of the equation. On a day-to-day normality, my life is like my world. It's like it's cool. It is awesome. Awesome would be a good word to use to describe it. I mean, one minute I can play with wild animals, and the next minute I've got they're wild animals are my friends. I got a possum and a raccoon that come up on my porch and eat dinner, and I can go outside and drink my beer and talk to the raccoon and the possum, and the cats will come out, and I don't rule nothing, and they all interact and coexist peacefully, and that's not something I've done, but it is something I'm part of, and it is also the same world that I strongly perceive that everyone in existence could thrive in as well. I just don't know how to get us all to that point.
Richard, what you said in chat, Perth, I like to comment on stuff. Mate, I understand, and I would like to be able to leave comments on so that people can leave their comments. But unfortunately, assholes fuck that up for everybody.
What, we have to delete comments?
There's a choice. I either open comments and you can comment for a short period until some asshole leaves a nasty comment. YouTube pretty much hits me for that, and then I can't live stream for 90 days. So then we go back to 90 days of you can't comment because that's it. You know what I mean? I'm in jail. I'm in YouTube jail.
And just so everyone knows, all the fears in this world. Oh, cats hate dogs. Cats love mice. People don't like shooting animals. This blah fucking blah. There's a baby cat not even 2 feet. And it's me, a baby tiny defenseless bird, a baby tiny defenseless cat, and my bearded dirty ass. And we're in harmony right now. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot about the 100+ pound dog beside me. And we're sitting here in harmony. So this idea that any of us should ever have reason to not get along with anything or anyone else is complete bullshit. And there's no excuse for it. It don't matter your religion. It doesn't matter the color of your skin. It doesn't matter what citizen of what country you are, which political affiliation you share. There's no reason why all of us can't thrive and flourish together. I just had to point that out. Sorry for being so long-winded.
That's good. Love it.
Sounds, you got anything you want to ask or say? Right?
I want what you have, and my flag is better than your flag. I beat you to it there, Sal.
I don't think so, Greg. My chunk of dirt's better than yours.
Well, mine smells better.
Mine has less.
I don't mean to be rude, Perth, but I'm gonna go to sleep now. I'm tired.
Right. Thank you so much for being here.
Well, no, thank you. And it was
Nice meeting you.
Down, Ray.
Thanks for joining.
Thank you.
Yeah. Pleasure.
You have a beautiful night.
There's your Holly. Sleep well.
Don't be a stranger. We're always here for you. Don't be a stranger.
I won't. I will bother you more often. Take it easy.
Later, mate.
Don't be strange just because we're strange.
People are strange.
Don't give it all away.
Hey, that's Wobbly Boot. Hey, Wobbly, that's your new song you got to learn and sing and do for us.
What's that?
People are strange.
There's already a
Strange.
You are.
Strange.
He already did it. Shit.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Why do I gotta miss everything? Why do I gotta miss everything?
I've got it on my music favourites. If you look 3/4 of the way down, no, it's not People Are Strange, People Are Crazy. That's
No, I'm wanting People Are Strange, the Doors.
Yeah, no, I've been practicing that one. I could do a half-assed version of it for you.
Oh, hell yeah. Heck yeah, do that.
It'll take me about, give me about 5 minutes or so. I've got to find it.
All right.
You know, and browse and shit. But I'm going to have a cigarette first.
Yeah, that's cool.
Heck yeah, Donna, you go lay and play for us?
I don't know. I'll think about it, Heath. I'll think about it.
All right.
I'll think about it. I'll ponder for a moment, or two, or three. Link has gone into the chat. If anybody else wants to jump on, please do so.
Well, I have some good news.
What's that?
Go ahead, Greg.
Oh well, you already know, but got my snowblower working today. So I was doing some snowblowing today.
How'd you finally do it?
Got her done. Oh, I just needed pointers and pointed the right way, and it was fairly easy with my neighbor's help getting it all back together again.
Was it a bitch to get the points adjusted right?
adjusting the points. I was putting the belt on
Oh.
my snowblower. But anyway, it was a pain in the ass. But got her done. Done some snow blowing today. So that's wonderful. But anyway, that's enough of me.
I couldn't live a life if I had to blow on stuff.
You wouldn't make a very good prostitute, Heath.
I know. I've been trying to whore myself out so that I can make a few dollars and buy some cannabis seeds, and apparently, fucking dirty, long-haired, bearded fellas that smell like chicken shit isn't a I can't get a good asking price. I don't know. I'm gonna have to rethink my financial responsibilities.
Well, listen, just take you to the fact of how many seeds you need, how much for each seed, divide that up, and then, I don't know, just go by, you know, the price, and you'll still end up with the fucking seed.
I want to say goodbye to Richard. He's got to go, he said.
Later, Richard. Thanks for stopping by.
Have a good one, Richard.
Heath, did you consider maybe having a, you know, were you wearing like fishnet stockings and stilettos and stuff, you know, like a little short, leathery skirt?
I think the fact that I was targeting older women and suggesting that they had to sneak onto my property in the wee hours of the morning for service, I think it kind of creeped them out, maybe, or I don't know.
I think what it came down to is you didn't want to shave your legs and not worry about your beard.
Shaving things is a rough experience. Not getting too into detail or nothing, but I kind of thought that. Anyway, I've never done it. Somebody suggested shaving something. They said that women dig it, and I said I'll do that. Well, I mean, I'm not much into shaving hairs and cutting hairs, but I'll take one for the team. I'll do that. Yeah, that was fucking retarded. Never again. And then I thought it was bad when I did it. It ain't bad when you do it. It's like 3 or 4 days later. Then it's just ungodly, awful.
I was just gonna say that. Were you scratching like you had fucking crab later?
I still am. And look, we were sitting here on the couch the other night, and I'm sitting here, and Mama's over here in the recliner. We're watching TV, and I just happen to feel eyes. I'm like, now, just so you know, I'm not scratching my balls. I'm scratching the inside of my thigh. She said, what? I wasn't looking at you. Yeah, okay, whatever. I'm sure I probably don't look very appropriate in my posturing and my gestures, but just so you know, that's not what I was doing. I was, scratching somewhere else. Yeah, it's been rough. Rough experience.
Just as long as you don't look like the dog trying to rub his butt on the grass, that's okay.
Men shouldn't do that kind of thing. I don't know why it got to be, and I don't know if they weren't lying to me saying it was popular with women, but yeah, men shouldn't do that.
Can I please tell you that somebody was taking the mickey out of you? You know how I know? Because a good mate of mine, and we're best of buddies. We'll always be best of buddies. We don't associate a lot, but we'll always be best of buddies. I turned around and I said to him, because we were talking about it one day, and I said, oh, you go shave that shit. And he goes, what do you mean? And I says, well, you'll score more. I mean, yeah, granted, the dude is married, and you're possibly an asshole and all the rest of it, but beside the point, he's an Aquarian, and the two of us pretty much, we clicked as mates, and he says to me, like, I convinced him to do it. Anyway, he fucking does it, right? 2 days later, 3 days later, he shows up, rings up and says, I'm coming for coffee. Anyway, he comes over and straight at the door he goes, you fucking bitch. And I says, why? And I started laughing because I knew what was going to happen.
You conned him and then laughed at him.
He goes, I'm fucking scratching. He goes, I can't stop fucking scratching it. It's like I've got fucking crabs or something. I couldn't stop laughing.
You conned him into doing something stupid, and then you made fun of him.
Absolutely.
That's fucking mean. You know what it reminded me of? In the service, we were rappelling and shit, and anyway, we had this harness on, and you'd drop down so many feet, and you'd hit this lock thing, and you'd lock that harness in. And anyway, we had to do this shit a bunch. And I got these, I guess you would call them friction burns in the crotch. That's what it reminded me of. And it wasn't as that bad. I mean, I still got skin there, but not a pleasurable experience. And what if a man had? I mean, what if you if you wanted to maintain it? What if your girlfriend or significant other did in fact like it? Then she'd be wanting you to do that shit all the time. Oh man, that would. Oh yeah, I couldn't do it.
Except, okay, the majority of chicks that do like that, they don't want you to necessarily shave. They prefer you go wax.
No.
And
that's rough.
You ain't felt nothing till you've had your balls waxed. Not that I've been there, but I have had guys while it's being done, and it ain't fucking pretty.
I'll tell you what, there's things that could conceivably convince me to do anything. I guess it would depend on what was being offered. But for something like that, just so you know, I don't really much care for money, so that wouldn't be a good enough offer. And I don't really know outside of money. I just don't know what a chick could try to convince me with that would be worth it. After this,
I didn't even have to spend a whole heap of time convincing this one to shave.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a 2-minute conversation.
That stuff. Then, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, the this, the that, yada yada.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, he's gone and done it, and of course, oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty quick 5-minute conversation. It was like really quick. It was like, well, it went something like this. Hey, buddy, I'm really when I order me some more seeds, I'll order you some too. But I just really ain't got the money right now. And he's like, well, I thought you had a plan. I said, well, you know, I did run that ad on Craigslist and whatnot. And he's like, well, don't take this wrong, man, but are you like bearded everywhere? And I was like, well, why? I mean, you can't braid the hairs out my ass crack, but I mean, they are there. But I ain't got much hair on my back or chest. Why? What are you talking about? No. He's like, are you like, you don't shave anywhere? I was like, well, no. Why would I? He said, well, women kind of like it, dig it when you know, shave your balls and shit, and that might make you more appealing. I don't know how you'd word it in the ad, but you could, you know, it'd be something to look into. It might gain additional response, if nothing else. I thought, well, shit. If that's the difference between us getting some seeds real quick, or like having to wait till the first of next month, I'm all for it. Let's do it. And yeah, I'm paying for it. Another dumbass move on my part. Thankfully, I don't have to go in public. Thankfully, I do not go in public. Could you imagine being in a checkout line at the convenience store and you're sitting there digging in your crotch? I mean, what would people think? Well, I don't really care what they think, but I'm quite certain that the way my luck is in the world, I would come across the exact person that would have the audacity to actually speak about it out loud. And then that would just be dude, I'm sitting here scratching my fucking balls. You got a problem with it? Look the other way. Yeah, it would just introduce controversy.
In a small town, Heath, what's going to happen is they're going to want to know what her name is and make sure they stay a mile away.
That's probably more accurate. And then there's always the potential that people would show up bringing me food and plates of food and leftovers and shit, and like, well, I was down at the store and they were saying that, you know, that you're going through some stuff and you're a little under the weather. We thought my wife wanted to help out, and yeah.
In that case, maybe it's good just keep scratching those balls if you're gonna get something out of it. Oh God. I want you to put on some fishnets and some stilettos, and then I'll buy it for you.
I'll do a YouTube video and some fishnets and stilettos. As long as I get to include an official disclaimer in the beginning, just so you know that. Because, I mean, this is a fucked up topic to get me into because now you're making me bring up Google Analytics. Shit! Fuck! Anyway, of the, I don't know, 647,000 minutes that I've been viewed via Google servers this month, 6% is my female audience. That's fucked up. That's a fucked up stat.
You're gonna get a shitload more.
No, I want my female audience. That's not going to get me more female if I'm already fucking 94% male audience.
See? No, he's looking shit. Mother Nature says she's gonna donate too. Get in them fucking stilettos, Steve.
I got to find a size 14. How big's your high heels? Mom, how big's your high heels? What size are they?
8.
Oh, well, fuck. An 8 women, that's worlds difference between a 14 man. Shit! I bet that. Does a Goodwill carry giant men's high heel shoes?
I wouldn't know.
Well, where does that. Well, I'm surely in a world where being gay and picking your gender is acceptable. I'm sure there's a place that a 7 foot tall man can find a good pair of boots, a good pair of high heeled stilettos or whatever.
I think there's a difference between high heels and stilettos.
Okay, well, where do the 7 foot tall women pick 7 foot tall men who think they're women? Is that politically correct? I don't know. Where would those people? I don't know if I can say those people either. See, this shit gets confusing. Where they get shoes at that fit, like, you know, where would a fucking man that? Where would a man get some 14-inch stilettos? Where?
Probably second-hand stores. Second-hand store would be, I don't know what you call second-hand stores, like I don't know, a Good Sammy's or whatever, like we have here, Good Sammy's and stuff, where people take their old clothes, old shoes, this, that, the other. That would be the best place to look. But don't forget the fishnet stockings and the leather miniskirt.
Mother Nature's pretty good looking. I might have to break a couple of them toes just to make my 14 foot fit in some of her size 11s.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Even Mother Nature says in the Goodwill store.
Yeah, I've broke both my pinky toes on both my pinky toe on both feet several times. So it probably wouldn't hurt to twist one again or something. I don't know.
And you've got to take footage where you're standing on the corner. I don't care what corner.
We don't have corners. They don't have no corners. We don't have like blocks and stuff. I live in the woods. I live in the woods. I mean, like really in the woods.
Actually, that could be funny. Yes, that could be funny. You wearing stilettos, walking through the bush. That could be an experience. Yeah. Actually, that's not too bad.
Oh my God! What if my neighbor's kids? That neighbor man. Could you imagine if they seen? Oh shit! Me and Drag walking through on the side of the mountain. Man,
Why is that something you want to do?
You've missed out on half this conversation. Don't interject now. You know? Could you imagine what the controversy would be?
What's clicking at your end? I don't know what's clicking at your end, mate.
Clicking.
Hey Heath. Hey Heath.
Yes.
I want that little chick you had
Yeah.
in your hand or wherever it was.
That was a silver Brahma. Brahmas get to be big, dude. Them big chickens.
I'm gonna name that chicken Paul.
Okay, it's a silver Brahma, and I don't know because they're so small, and the breeder that I got them from, I don't know sex. I'm hoping, and plus my incubator's full right now. I'm hoping I do get a rooster or two, but you know, you never know. They say, I guess nature, it's like with chickens, it's typically 50%, 50-50 male and female of the hatchlings.
Oh, hey, don't forget the red lipstick, please.
How do I know what my color is?
You just go in there and ask for tomato red. The woman selling it will know what tomato red
Yeah,
is.
but if I get the wrong color, doesn't it fuck me up?
No.
I thought that, I don't know. I thought women had to pick, their lipstick had to be mated with their astrological sign, and Vanity Fair had to take a vote, a monthly vote, and there was all these variables that went into deciding those things.
Yeah, no. Just go in wherever you're buying it from. Just go in. You can even do that at the thrift store. It doesn't really matter. Just cut the top off so that you don't get anybody else's cooties, and just ask for tomato red.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah. You'll make some money in fucking no time, mate. Just take my advice. I'm telling you. That money will be coming in. You'll be able to buy fucking half of whatever with seeds.
Hey, just remember, you did shave. You know the end results to say that. How did that work out for you?
Oh, well, we do. Unfortunately, we do have pretty active KKK groups and what have you in this particular part of the world. Not that I'm, I'm in no way, shape, or form involved or disrespectful or advocating against or for anything. I'm just saying that in this area, it is a part of the reality. Oh, shit, that would not be good.
Well, I'm just
You can move or we'll lynch you and then you'll move. But I was just trying to watch the video. You clearly listened to and see my disclaimer. It was a stunt. Well, who gives a damn? No red-blooded white American's gonna disrespect this race like that. Oh man, it would be bad.
No, you would make a lot of dough. Trust me, I would freaking stream it continuously.
I know, I'm just thinking if the locals caught me.
You don't worry about them, so fucking what? If you make the money, you can start. We'll even start a GoFundMe page.
This is for legal and relocation fees in the event that True Patriot or his family are massacred on account of his gender role reversal stunt to obtain funds for his illegal cannabis crop. Yeah. Yeah.
At least they can't call you a terrorist, right? You might come under the category of terrorist.
I'm already legally defined as a domestic terrorist. That's already in black and white, and it is a description that I hold high above my head and wear it proudly.
See, there you go. Mother Nature said she would stream it too.
Oh, wow, it would be a fun stream, wouldn't it?
Negative, Ghost Rider. On standby.
It would be funny though. Damn, it'd get some laughs, I'm sure.
Oh, listen, it would get some money, mate. I'm telling you. Seriously. You want to get shit? We just gave you an idea how to get shit.
Oh, that would
And
be.
if it doesn't,
Well, hey, at least we had a good laugh, just like we.
What about the beard though? The beard's gonna fuck up the whole ensemble. What kind of? I mean, even when you look at them, I can't say funny or. It's hard to use the right words. If you saw a man that you perceived to be cross-dressing, and the cross-dressing man had long hair, but it wasn't like a woman's hair, it was like a man's hair, long hair, and he had a great big, like ZZ Top looking or something type beard, what, well, you know, that would be weird looking, right? Or something. It would be something looking.
No, Heath. If we go to the Eurovision contest, okay, the Eurovision contest, go and have a look.
Where's that? What is that? What are you referring to? What's the?
Okay, type into Google Eurovision contest.
All right, hold on.
And
I'm
trust
doing
me,
that.
when you see the picture, you'll know what I'm talking about. It is wearing a white dress.
Is Eurovision one word? Is that one word? 2 words?
Eurovision, yeah, one word. It is wearing a white dress and it has long hair and a fucking beard. and you're worrying about stilettos and fishnet stockings and tomato red lipstick and what people would say, it won the Eurovision contest.
Oh, I could do that. I don't know what that is, but I could do it. Whatever that is, or they, or who, or whatever. Anyway,
when I saw it, I could not believe it. I thought, you've got to be shitting me. And out of that Eurovision Song Contest, okay, which happens...
Oh, it figures. It figures. It's some Jew-ish bullshit. Oh. Notice I threw the ish in there.
Wasn't even the best song. The only reason that it was voted the winner was because of the way that it looked. So, yeah, if you're worried about wearing fishnets and having a beard, don't be. You're not the first.
I don't see why we have to have a cursed flag all over that event.
See, Mother Nature says he has nice slender legs too. I remember from watching him last summer. Oh, see, she was pooping on your legs, dude.
Yeah, they are, but I'm not. Well, I don't shave my legs neither. And I got that 3% tattoo on my right leg and big old great big koi fish on my left one.
You know, she ain't complaining about the hairs on your legs. She's complimenting saying nice legs. Look good in stilettos. Maybe Gray and Sounds can join you. You know.
Ah. Oh, I don't see it happening. They're not yet willing to do what it takes.
I'd consider shaving my head for the right amount of money, but that's as far as it goes.
Yeah. See. Yeah.
Except for my face.
Yeah.
Sounds, are you in?
No, he's on standby. You done run Sounds off.
I could shave my head for charity.
Yeah, but if you do it for charity, do not do it for any criminal and otherwise deceptive organizations, such as some fucking pink ribbon bullshit. And I only have to point that out. Huh? What?
No, can I tell you that you're not doing this alone? Sounds just said affirmative, which means he'll do it with you.
Nah, I know he wouldn't.
Yeah, sure, Bert. Sure, Bert.
He wouldn't.
I'll lend you my fishnets. What are you complaining about?
And you know what?
Hey, here's the deal. I will send you a picture, and there you go. And I can't promise it's me.
And then you know what he's gonna do? He's gonna go give some fucking poor wino fucking homeless dude and tell him, hey, look here, dude, I'm gonna buy you a bottle of fuck it, I'm feeling like a big spender today. I'm gonna give you a half gallon of wine and let you come over to my house, take you a shower this evening, on one condition: you gotta put on this outfit for me and let me snap a photo. And yeah, meanwhile, Sound has got, you know, $5 or $10 invested in nothing really, and I've done. Oh man, the video would be around, and oh man, I wonder if people would start forming connections, because you know how people are. They're like, hey, ain't that? Oh my God, that's True Patriot. Oh shit, I got to ring up all the boys, and I got to let people know about this. And next thing you know, there's gonna be connections being made, and man, oh fuck. It goes from good to bad and bad to good.
No, I have a solution for that. You know what you do? You put it on private and you say you have to pay the view.
Oh shit, would they shut my YouTube channel down for doing that?
Whoever they bring to your channel is going to have to pay if they want to see it.
That's intelligent right there. That's a good idea, Donna.
Okay, mate.
That is a damn good idea. Well, fuck it. I'd definitely do it like that.
There you go.
My mind.
Of you. I mean, shit, the guys here, I don't know about you guys, but my young mate ended up taking me into the city here to what's classed as a peep show. I didn't even know the fucking thing existed. it was kind of like a side little alley doorway that runs between a pizza place and a fucking shish kebab joint. And she takes me down there, and I'm going, what the fuck? And she's going, she's laughing her head off, and she goes, no, come on, you've got to have a look, you've got to have a look. And we go, she takes me into a booth, and oh, the whole place just fucking stunk. And I just didn't want to touch anything. And she's saying to me, look, they stick $2 in here, and then they get to watch. So she sticks $2 in there, and we're standing there, and we're watching this chick who is kind of sort of slightly, I don't know, she's moving just a little bit. She's not overexerting herself, because she came in with her little radio tape sort of cassette thingy. It got as far as her just touchy-feely her boobs a little bit, which were still closed, and then it cuts out. And I says to her, is that it of what you get? And she goes, oh no, if you want to see more, you got to keep pumping that machine with $2.
What? So you gotta keep doing it like every few minutes? You gotta put $2 more in it?
Yeah.
And then does she keep like her going, or does she stop and restart, or I mean, I don't know.
Well, no, if you keep cranking that $2 in, if you kind of like fill it up, you'll see the full show. Okay. If you keep like ramming those $2 in there, oh, but yeah, I just didn't want to touch anything. I thought, oh my God, like the things that girl took me and showed me that I didn't even know existed in this fucking city here is just. But hey, like I said, it's gonna make you money. You do that on your channel. You want a view? Well, it's like a peep show. You got to fucking pay. Just jack the price up.
Oh, hey, this is wild.
Fucking
Mother Nature, quit talking about what the fuck I'm thinking about. Even if you know what I'm thinking about, it's not appropriate to tell everybody else in chat. Damn it! I'm trying to hide my thoughts and get you to change the subject for me, and then she goes and repeats my fucking thoughts in the chat box. Fucking witches and shit. Damn it! You ain't the only one. I can do that shit too, but I don't because it ain't cool.
Hey, listen, if you get stuck on the fish nets, just let me know. I've got one I can lend you.
They're supposed to be professional courtesy.
You might have to use some suspenders with them because I don't know if they'll cover the full length of your long sexy legs. But hey, there's a way around everything. Just ask us females, and we'll let you know how to put it together.
I gotta watch the chat. I can't listen to you. I turn my back for a minute. Oh yeah, here's what color he already picked out this color and everything. He's even got the different various props to make up the background scenery too. And here I am talking to you, not paying a fucking attention, and I get back now everybody's laughing about it. Yeah, I was thinking about it, but shit, that don't mean you should told everybody. Maybe they didn't realize that I knew that you knew that I knew or something. I don't know.
No, we're just trying to help you out. I mean, you want to get those seeds, so we're just trying to help you out.
I know.
Giving you an easy way to do it. And you won't just be able to get seeds, you'll be able to buy the fertilizer, the potting mixer, whatever it is, the pots, the fucking whatever goes along with that.
Yeah, I repurpose a lot of material, so my my costs associated with anything are minimal.
Well, let's not be putting it out there. You're trying to make money. Why would you say that to people? What, they're going to donate 2 cents?
Well, because I don't, you know, I wouldn't, you know, a lot of money wouldn't do me no good. It would just, I could buy shit. And typically I found that you can usually buy shit that you probably really don't need in the first place.
No,
but
you can go buy more chickens and more organic seeds and more all of that stuff that you are into.
Yeah.
So when are we doing this?
I don't know. We'll have to set a date. We'll have to schedule it around my my fitting.
Oh wow, it's a date.
I'll get my little my elves working on the promotional aspects of it though.
Okay. Like I said, if you get stuck on any item, just put it out there. I'm sure one of us girls can send it to you.
I think it'd be kind of fun looking looking for the outfit. I think that'd be kind of cool. Could you imagine that? When you see some big bearded fella fighting a fat woman over the last whatever in in the women's clothing section of the thrift store. Can you imagine the response people will get for me even looking at stuff like that?
Can I also please remind you too, just in case you don't have one, well, you might have one already. Do you have like a see-through singlet where your nipples can be seen through it?
What's that? I don't even know what that is.
You know, it's got clips.
Huh?
The material you see through. Okay, it's got to be through.
The heat in the country or the south, you know, people have a tendency to call it a wife beater or a woman beater or a man beater.
I do got a wife beater. Yeah, I got a wife beater.
What, a singlet?
But yes, that's what they're called in the States, depending upon what part of the States you are, or they just call them a tank top.
Yeah, that would have to be a real short one, though.
Right, well, let's go with a tank top, and it's got to be see-through, so you can see your nipples through it, right?
Yeah.
Don't forget that, right? So just in case you don't have one, you need to find that as well.
And a skirt?
A skirt, leather, it can be leather look-alike. It doesn't have to be real leather, alright? Leather look-alike. Preferably with a zip up the front, you know, so for easy access kind of look, you know?
Yeah.
But it's a freaking skirt. What more easy access do you want?
Yeah.
Well,
Who thinks about zippers on a skirt? You just lift the skirt up.
Some of these chicks wear shit that is mega motherfucking tight and it literally sticks to the skin. Try and get that bitch up and get somewhere.
Yeah, that I could see that. The leather would be.
The zipper at the front is more provocative.
How do you get into that stuff? Like, does the leather actually stretch, and that's how it works?
Yeah, it kind of sort of acts stretchy, but trust me, once you get into it, it's fucking hard to get out of.
That would suck. I mean, could you imagine what that'd be like? I'd never want to fucking be a slutty female wearing a skin tight skirt. Damn.
Hey, listen, lots of guys like that.
Well, it don't matter what we like. If it's uncomfortable, don't do it.
Can I please tell you, Heath, that when my neighbour, my back neighbour here, was moving out, and I was over there, she said to me to come on over because some of her as she would put it, modular mates, meaning white women, were coming over to help her pack, and she says, Tony, you've got to come over. She goes, they're going to drive me fucking insane. So I go over there, and she's going through all their clothing. And what does she pull out? She pulls out hers, these fucking stilettos. And I'm like laughing, and I'm saying, goodness, what the fuck are you doing with those? And she goes, oh, I'm going to chuck them out. And I said, oh, hell no, girl. I said, you hang on to those bitches. I might need them fucking soon. So we're like laughing over this shit. Then she comes out with a bloody pair of fishnet fucking stockings. Oh my God, it was on for young and old. And of course, she had that leather skirt with the fucking zip on it. And I said, fuck, I'm set. I'm set. I said, just put that shit aside when I need it. I said, I will come knocking.
Mother Nature said she'd never wear stuff like that. And unfortunately, I must point out, Mother Nature and you know, a lot of women are attractive. And I can, as a man, it's been my observation that some women, actually no women, but some women may perceive themselves as needing additional help for whatever, to compensate for whatever insecurities that they may perceive about themselves.
Exactly.
And you know, some women just naturally don't need that boost. Even the ones that do perceive that they do, they don't. I mean, I wouldn't think that you would need to wear a skin tight leather fucking zip up fucking skirt. I would definitely not perceive that Mother Nature would have to either.
Well, I never have, so.
Yeah.
But Glennis has got one on hold for me just in case. Downs, you sure you don't want to jump in and do it? Your case is taking something and do it.
Perth, I'm pretty sure that if I'm not willing to freaking sell out to these so-called elites for a very large sum amount, I don't think I'm going to sell out for seeds or a few donations.
Don't say that. Now you're putting Heath down. That's just so not nice.
No, Heath has had his chance too, I'm sure.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Their money always comes with a price.
Absolutely.
And the more the money, the larger the price.
Yep.
All I've got to say is I look forward to the video. You've got to let us know what day so that we can all be online and we'll all do like a live stream and mirror it. Actually, no, then we can't. No, we can't do that because if everybody sees it, they're not going to pay. No, you got to.
Yeah, and it can't be. Yeah, it can't be live because in my area, I tried to go live. You could see it on my channel, but I tried to go live. I went on a hike, doing some. I was scouting around behind that little fucking underground deal, trying to find a safer way to access it. And for shits and giggles, I tried to, because I have no signal here, but I had one bar and attempted to do a live stream during the hike. Yeah, it wasn't very good quality, but it worked, but it didn't work. It didn't work enough.
Okay. Also, there's got to be a period of walking distance in this. So I'm happy if you go fully dressed from your front porch, okay, to the chicken coop. And maybe feed the chickens and come back. That's as long as you have to do it.
I just found out something talking about poop.
What happened to
Japan has a museum dedicated to feces.
Is
the ones where they make different stuff out of shit?
Is Japan? Didn't they the ones that did the shit burger?
Yes.
Well, I don't know about that. They have a feces museum, for God's sake.
Well, Gray, I don't know, but let me enlighten you. They also pretty much have ass sniffing competitions. They take their wives there and they mix up all the women and they get the women to stick their ass out through a hole and the guys are on the other side and they have to sniff ass to see if they can pick out which one is their one.
Oh, God. Man,
That
on that note, I'm going to put my nightgown on.
I mean, how often would you have your nose up your wife's ass to know which one is
Some women would call that a good man.
I'm not sniffing, licking. I'm just not a butt man. I've just never been really that way, you know. Not big on butt. And having a 14 foot my whole life, I'm really not into feet. I mean, I don't give a fuck what your foot looks like or don't look like. Feet to me are just a fucking tool, like a shovel or an axe or something.
I'm pretty sure you hate that some men out there.
I know. Yeah.
Touching the wrist of the woman, but they will suck her toes.
Yes. I lived with a very close friend who was referred to as a gifted escort. And this particular gal had a man that would come. He worked offshore, and he would come in, and he'd pay her $1,200 to suck his feet and screw him with a banana. And when he would come back in town every month, that was his deal. He would suck her feet, and then she would screw him with a banana. And yeah, there's some fucking weirdos out there for sure.
You have to bring the banana into that. I liked bananas.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, yeah, that's some weird shit. I couldn't believe it. I was like, man, I can't believe the shit that she'd do for money. But then she was making, I mean, shit, there were days where she'd make several $1,000s in a day. I mean, seriously, And I was like, well, man, for several $1,000s a day, you really must have really exerted yourself. Oh, then she had these one guys, and she would dress up in this, like, this costume character outfit thing, and she would whoop them with paddles. She would wear this costume, and she would beat them with paddles, and then leave. That's all she did. She would show up in this costume, beat them with paddles. I mean, like, literally, like, to their fucking asses bleeding. I mean, beat the fuck out of them, and then she'd get paid and leave.
Yep. And there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them too that they like to be told what to do. What do they call it? Somebody help me with the name.
The dominatrix is what Mother Nature said.
That's the one. Dominatrix. Yeah. Dominatrix. They love being told what to do. They love being whipped. They love all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Right into it, they are.
That's too far out there. That is too far out there, and I'm not putting on no motherfucking collar and letting some broad walk me around neither. I ain't doing it.
Can I also tell you that it doesn't necessarily have to stop there, because some of them will play the role continuously. Like, for example, they will come and pay you, and you give them instructions as to what to do. For example, your mate on the other side of town might have a hairdressing appointment on a certain day. Well, his job is to go and pick her up, drive her there, wait for her, take her back home, but he's under the orders of his dominatrix.
Mm.
So it doesn't mean that they necessarily literally visit each other per se.
That is fucking weird.
Hello, Donna. How you
Look,
doing,
I got 5 fingers and a big old motherfucking hand, and I can just do away with about 90% of that shit. Nip it in the bud.
Please don't tell me that that's what I'm thinking of, because the last dominatrix type thing that I heard of disgusted. Well, no, it was beyond disgust, because it involved animals, certain animals. And I pretty much told the chick, I said, why the fuck didn't you get on the phone and report the prick? So yeah, I don't know whether you're referring to it in the animal sense, or I don't even want to repeat what this fucker wanted done or had done.
Yeah.
And it didn't with him. So
Is that it's had me thinking sick shit. Now you got me thinking about what I had heard. My sister mention this thing that she had heard about. What the fuck was that? A Klondike ice pop or something, and they'd take a fucking turd and put it in the freezer and freeze it, and then screw each other with it. I mean, yeah, seriously, the world is a twisted place. It is as twisted as a person wants to take it.
if somebody says shit to me about fucking humanity.
Yeah, I know. We are capable of some hideous, just ungodly, for lack of a better way of putting it, behavior. I mean, where do we come up with this shit at? No pun intended. I mean, where do we come up with it? Because I am a firm believer, but I think that nothing new under the sun. I think there are no original thoughts. I think that everything is an indirect adaptation of something already in existence. Even thought.
There you go. Mother Nature just described the squashing. It's overweight women that jump on a man, squish him with their fat, and make them suffocate by sitting on their face. These women are 400 or 500 pounds.
Oh, so we're talking about face sitting, with the addition of, instead of it being a BBW, it's a SS BBW, or whatever the fucking correct terminology is for the morbidly obese woman. It's fucking twisted too. I guess I'm old-fashioned. I don't think I was born in the right era this time.
I've been saying that all my life, but still, I like to hear, I like to know what's out there. Yeah, some shit I seriously wouldn't be able to put up with without reporting. Money or no money, regardless how much money is involved. Some fuckers just need a bullet in the head because I think they're beyond saving. But yeah.
Well, I think there would be collateral damage to some extent. Like, one of the questions I've always wondered about is, okay, I know it's outlandish that murder is unlawful, no matter how you justify it. Okay, but what would the effect be if, let's say, I don't know, for instance, a hypothetical situation here, a faction. I don't know how big of a faction, but a faction capable of pulling it off publicly in a systematic form executed every living member of the Rockefeller Foundation. And they did this publicly. What would be the ripple effect from such an event? And would those who participated in such an event be able, I wonder about stuff like this, because I know that I'm not saying that I'm not advocating just go out here and randomly kill people. I'm saying that there's certain groups that have always existed. And if you say, well, the Rockefeller Foundation hasn't always existed, no, but there were groups that founded the Rockefeller Foundation that did exist prior to them, and you would get the message, you would get a message out at least. And they have ritualistically killed us for thousands and thousands of years, and no message in retaliation that I have seen has ever been posted. Ever. Historically. Somebody that's more knowledge in history can correct me if I'm wrong, but the system always attacks us. I don't ever recall seeing a public attack on the system. And I wonder what the effect would be of said attack.
Yeah, I don't know. All I know is that I was asked some years ago to, if I wanted to go to work at one of these places, being a dominatrix, and I said I couldn't do it. Because there's a lot of pent-up frustration in this fucking chickie babe. If I started hitting some guy, I think I'd beat the living fucking life out of him. There'd be no cut-off point. I wouldn't care if he had a safe word. It would be a matter of shut up, bitch, and I'd keep hitting. Listen, I thank everybody for having a fucking laugh at least with this, because it sure as hell beats talking about fucking devastating shit all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, usually we're talking about how society is fucked up. Not that they're not fucked up by what we talked about, but at least, yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I had a fucking laugh.
Ted C is in your chat talking about perverts and chicken. Hey, the chickens are more of a friend to me than 99% of the humans that I'm in contact with on a regular basis. I could never see a chicken disrespected that way. Oh, that's twisted too. What the fuck?
Ted's a voyeur.
I know. And he's really got my thinking about some fucked up shit now. Whole chicken. I better scroll back up further in chat to see what that mess is about. Overweight women, BMWs, lay all out, laughing out loud, perverts use the whole chicken. I'm confused. I'm lost. What's the chicken? Explain the chicken thing to me, because I'm seeing it or reading it incorrectly.
Can I please tell you, the first time I actually saw that, and I asked for an explanation, they didn't want to explain it to me. They said it was a guy thing. So the fact that you don't know what it is...
Well, I'm a guy. What the fuck am I? Well, why can't I know? I'm a guy or something. I mean, I'm something, obviously, but baked chicken. Whole baked chicken. What are we talking about? What's the chicken thing? How did we go from a big morbidly obese woman sitting on a guy's face to a baked chicken? Baked chickens are significantly smaller than a obese woman. But
Gray, Sounds, do you know what they're talking about in chat? I was told it was a man thing.
chicken soup heat.
You can say what you want. I think it goes both ways.
Hey, he said chicken soup heat. What the fuck are y'all talking about? I just want to. I'm just curious in my quest for knowledge. I I don't. No cryptic agendas or hidden innuendos. I just, I'm sincerely curious because there's references being made, and if I'm the butt of an inside joke, hey, I can take it. But
no.
Hey,
no, it's not a joke at you, because this was brought up in one of my chats about 12 and a half months ago. And I queried, just like you are, and I said, what the fuck does that mean, right?
Yeah.
And they refused to tell me in chat. They just pretty much said it's a guy thing. So the fact that you ask...
Now Mother Nature's joined in, and none of them are still saying anything, Mother
Nature, no dramas, thanks for hanging, yeah. Chicken soup, there you go, they're starting to explain it.
No.
Are you reading that, Heath?
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm getting further mentally discombobulated. Choke the chicken, jack off. Hell, that's pretty common. That's but whole chicken, why would I need a whole chicken to jack off? I got a big hand. Is that the whole chicken? Is that... Maybe that's the connection.
I don't know. I was told a year and a half ago that it was a guy thing. Got me beat.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
Okay,
These youngsters
next
and the
topic.
shit they come up with.
Next, I'm pretty sure there's more interesting things out there than thinking about some of this
That's
stuff.
what I said. The youngsters and the shit they come up with.
Let's get real. Yeah. You're still all slaves, and, nothing's changed other than the fact that maybe Keith is going to have a private show on lockdown for the fact that...
Oh, yeah, he reiterates that one, don't he? He reiterated that for us, didn't he? Yeah. Oh, let's change the subject. But before we do, let's reiterate the subject. Thank you, Sound.
Always here to help a friend out.
Yeah.
Oh, and listen.
I love you all, regardless.
There is nothing worse than seeing hairy whatevers if you're going to be bending over feeding the chickens, alright? So, yeah, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to shave one more time.
Oh, it won't be the face or head, sorry. I can't do that. Oh. Yeah, it won't be no, I can't
No,
do
you don't
that.
have to shave your head, you don't have to shave your, you don't have to shave your beard. I'm talking about if you're bending over in a skirt.
I'll take some creative skin flesh tape or something. Yeah.
There you go, there you go.
Yeah.
Now you're on it.
So, are they going to take away my illegal firearms because someone used illegal firearms and killed people on a live stream, allegedly?
No, not for wearing fishnets. No. And the good thing is you won't be called a terrorist. And just stay within the parameters of your property.
Hey, and that troll that left that thumbs down, you're a shithead. Whoever you are. Just throwing that out there to the anonymous shithead.
Oh,
I'm pretty much sure I know who it is.
Did it just show up?
It's not on your end, Kurt, to my knowledge, from what I can see.
Well, the anonymous shithead, I love you too.
Take that back, it is on your end too. But either way.
No, Yeah, no. When did that show up? Does anybody know when that one showed up? Did it just show up recently?
It had to have been recently because I looked within the last 20 minutes or so.
Okay, not a problem. I know who it is. I did say in my video, didn't I, that they possibly come into my chat, and they're always there, even though they fucking...
Narrow it down. Narrow it down and get rid of them. There's no dealing with them. Just get rid of them. Narrow it down. It's a long, hard process. Takes years, but, you know, I've just heard us narrow it down some. And when you get on the offensive and you attack them back, it just makes it worse. Just ignore them and eliminate their ways of interacting with things that your circles that you interact within.
Trev, did you come up with a song for us? Welcome back. I don't know if you're going to be able to make it back long enough. I know I was having issues also. Trev.
What have I missed out on?
Wobbly joining us.
Who's joining us?
Wobbly. He's just having issues. And
Yeah, because he's playing
it's going around.
yeah, he's playing a song for us. Or he had to smoke some cigarettes and get ready. Internet connectivity is plagued at the moment. I'm sure several of us have experienced some result of said connectivity issue. It's only going to get worse, people. Get your fucking CB, tube type, dust it off, and teach yourself how to use it. And keep it in a shielded container, along with a decent sized 12-volt power source. And keep that shielded as well. And keep them on standby. And forget about them, except to regularly maintain the charge in the power supply. I only throw that out there because there are some things that are still impenetrable. Some things that some technologies can't yet disable. And some of those technologies very well may be the only communication method that some may have depending on circumstance.
And if we were actually all smart, we'd still be using floppy disks.
Yeah, that too. That too. Because they can erase that shit remotely. Everything's fine. You turn your computer off and you wake up and your hard drive's blank.
Can I please ask a couple of questions? And whoever knows, jump in or whatever. One question is, if you block somebody directly from their channel, they still have access to your thumbs up buttons, don't they?
No,
absolutely.
No, they do? Even if you've blocked them?
Most likely they do. They're going to have more than one account.
Oh, yeah, if they have other accounts, but they don't have access from the blocked account.
If they just have one, would they be able to still access your thumbs up?
Yeah, they can. The thumbs up are not dependent on who it is. It's not account dependent. So the thumbs up and down still happen.
Okay, and number two, going back to PayPal, because I was talking to somebody offline about this the other day, and they weren't really 100% sure either. If, for example, somebody was sending me a donation, would PayPal show them my details?
Ted C knows I know who they are.
No, they will. Any PayPal, yes, unless it's under someone else's name or under a corporate account or a company name, it's absolutely going to, because it goes directly to your account.
Ted C knows that I know who Ted C is, I hope. Yeah.
So Once again, they would show the real name, they wouldn't show the email address.
Ha!
That's correct.
Coincidental.
Depending upon what you registered it under. That's what it all comes down to.
Stick your foot now.
If you put any of your personal information in there, I'm pretty sure they have access to it.
Yeah, well, there goes PayPal.
Ted C. My 1200 watt linear and Galaxy Saturn base station do a lot better of a job and are far more efficient than tin cans and string. And if I were to use tin cans, it'd probably be pretty ineffective over long distances. Whereas when Skip rolls through, I mean, I could conceivably talk to Texas with no problem. And you know, yourself being in Tennessee, that Texas and Tennessee, that's a pretty long distance. And hell, shortwave, we get out a lot farther than that. Talk anywhere in the world. And not everybody is stupid enough to get a ham radio operator's permit. Not everybody is dumb enough when they're wanting to communicate with the world to license theirself to communicate with the world via airwaves, which man does not have the ability to restrict. I just point that out there, and you know, for the curious who may wonder. I watch those that watch me watching them. It is a small world. It really is. It's not nearly as large as we've been conned into perceiving it to be.
Say that it's just that everything seems, when you look at it, it seems scattered. It seems here, there, and everywhere, but it's not as big as what we think it is.
I'm really trying to discredit the simulated reality theory, and I'm having a hard time doing so. I really wonder, you know, am I just a fucking a fucking pawn in a fucking programmed chess game? Am I in a computer simulation?
We are. We're the pawns in the game of life.
Yeah,
your reality is only what you perceive it to be.
Well, real. How do you define real?
Your reality. What is your reality? Do you wake up every morning on the same side of the bed and do the same thing over and over again, expecting change?
I do wake up. I don't wake up. I typically don't sleep. I do sleep on occasion, and normally I'm in the same position when I open my eyes that I was previously when I closed my eyes. Position changes. Yes, the physical position of the body will somewhat change. Usually, within reason, it's in the same place. Yeah.
I guess that's no different than us scientists that we choose to believe we're on a ball, on a square, on a triangle, on a pizza, whatever we perceive to be is our reality. But even at that, what we see is no different than a magic trick.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
That's sleight of hand.
Smoke and mirrors.
Sleight of hand.
Sleight of hand, smoke and mirrors.
Yeah. And it's always subject to interpretation, and your interpretation is what changes, I perceive. I don't think that as the world progresses, I don't think that on the individual basis that we are in fact changing. It's almost like there's this is hard to explain. There is a big piece of the pie that's always the same. while at the same time there's another piece of the pie that continuously changes. Yet we're only talking about one pie. That didn't even make it sound better. That just further confused the topic. Shit. Yes, living in a computer, 420 Iron Horse, and that's why when you look into your fucking DNA, what a joke that is. Fucking why'd they have to edit it? We were so much better RNA life than we are DNA based life. But anyway, I digress. DNA is a binary, and further, it is in fact coded in the same way that any other computer language is. I mean, it's not just written in the same language, it's coded the same way. Black and white, ones and zeros.
Yeah, it can be. To say, though, that we can all, it's no different than a computer as well, though, that we can all be programmed, no different than a computer can be programmed. And there's a reason why they have such a large programming system to say that if it can process 7 billion thoughts at any given time, now the human mind is a lot more faster than the computer system can be on many levels.
Yeah. And the human is infinite, right? The ability to process simultaneous function is infinite with regards to the human mind, or isn't that the current theory?
I can't disagree to say that some extent that our thoughts are infinite as well. I mean, do we actually really shut off our thinking? Do we actually shut off our reality? Do we? Yes, that's correct. Quantum physics goes back to that to an extent, but then again, there's actually more to it than quantum physics to say that we have so many different sources going off, no different than a computer, but at the same time,
yes,
it can break down just as much as a computer.
Because I seem to recall when researching the whole double slit experiment thing, or I seem to recall that they were saying that when things new, when thought had been given, they thought that they could reduce size of the slits and do different tricks and whatever, that when they had actual thoughts about that it altered the entire experiment. It's like the experiment knew it was going to be tampered with, so it likewise altered the result, further mystifying the experiment.
And to say that, it would be no different than throwing water on a computer. It's going to fry. Well, the mentality of man as well will fry if you try to overload, the system one way or another, and any good computer will crash. If it wasn't the case, without the perfect elements, then they wouldn't be able to build such a large system of databases and systems combined. As we know, there's always like, D-Wave, the CZAP, for instance, and D-Wave goes so deep and it's so large that there's a reason why they want the hive mind mentality. And that's why they're setting up these systems and all these other corporations such as Gulag and U-Screwed and, all these other corporations, that are tied in, which are many, many more, along with Amazion and, these other places that, Snakebook,
Book of Faces?
Glitter.
Did you mention Book of Faces?
That's Snakebook.
But yeah, Book of Faces has the largest facial recognition database in the world. In the world. And coincidentally, we had spent however many billions of black fucking budget defense Department of Defense funds to fund a program to compile a database that would basically cover a bunch of useless metadata bullshit about world citizens worldwide. And we worked on that project for years. And then all of a sudden we decided, we're bored with this. Let's do something else. But it was coincidental that we decided to do that the very day that Facebook went online.
Can I break you two for a second and just read something that stood out to me because of what Heath was saying earlier on about the name, right? Another of the Prime Ministers, this is Australia's Prime Minister, okay? Another of the Prime Minister's comments warrants attention. Speaking of the Australian gunman, he said, "These people don't deserve names. Names imply some sort of humanity, and I struggle to find how anyone who would engage in this sort of behaviour and violence is not human. He doesn't deserve a name."
I know a song about strange people.
Go on.
Okay, it is. I've been struggling with the internet for the last 2 hours. I hope it lasts long enough for the song. People are straight when you're a stranger. Faces look up when you're alone. Women seem wicked when you're unwanted. Streets are uneven when you're down, when you're straight. Faces come out of the brain when you're strange. No one remembers your name when you're strange. When you're strange. When you're strange. People are strange when you're a stranger. Faces look ugly when you're alone. Women seem wicked when you're unwanted. Streets are uneven when you're dead. When you're strange. When you're strange. Faces come out of the rain when you're strange. No one remembers your name when you're strange. When you're strange. When you're strange. When you're strange, spikes has come out of the rain. When you're strange, no one remembers your name. When you're strange, when you're strange, when you're strange.
Excellent, Wobbly.
Nice, very nice.
Trey, what's this idea? Tropical cyclone Trevor forms off far north Queensland coast. What the fuck are you doing, dude?
My mate just told me an hour ago when the internet was going ape shit and it started raining. He said, "Oh, this is Cyclone Trevor." Forming not Fabry. And I said, "Yeah, have another one," because he's always like making up stories and having a limb of me. But no, it was actually real. There is a cyclone called Trevor.
Sorry, people, I'm just trying to check the shit. Could you please? Oh, hang on.
I can't find it.
That's what she said.
Nah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hang on a minute.
I think it might have already been gone. I want to say, because there was one that was,
Hang on, I've got. It's okay, mate. I found it.
Okay. Must have been further than what I went back.
No, I found it. What I'll do, mate, is I'll go down and.
Tomato plant.
Oh man, they look healthy, don't they?
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Oh.
You occupy yourselves. Yeah, I'm just looking through chat.
I see one. Yeah, I think you got it.
Yeah, I definitely did.
Yeah, and then you covered more than what I was going to do to say that. Yeah. Let's go.
I just carried 160 tomato seedlings and put them in my bedroom. Wow, I got like 900 plants in my bedroom. Does that make me a fucking weirdo?
Not yet, but it's puts you in the running.
You gotta reach 1,000
Yeah.
before you can actually classify it as weird and all that one.
Yeah. I'm actually set to probably, I think I could probably put about $3,000, before having to upgrade lighting. Yeah.
There's alleviating factors like how many cats do you have?
And yeah, that makes it rough because, like, you know, when you have to protect the chickens, you know, just because the cats will want to play with them. They can be around each other, but they can't play with them. But you have to protect the baby chickens. You've got to protect the cats. You've got to protect thousands of plants. And you have to do so in such a way in which there's harmony. And then you've got your own self to contend with. Of course, you know, lights generate heat. Lights generate noise. And then you've got the animals that make noise. So those things may affect your ability to sleep or whatever it is you do. Yeah, getting it all down pat definitely takes a lot of tedious mental finessing.
There's a pretty interesting little link there for what you and I were discussing about the estimate about the human brain. It says the human brain is 30 times faster than the best supercomputer.
I would definitely perceive that to be plausible.
And it says the AI impacts projects estimating computer hardware could match the human brain in 4 to 7 years, and this is in 2015. Now, imagine a warehouse full of football fields full of these supercomputers. At, what do we say, 30 degrees?
The AI
Fahrenheit.
The AI was connected to the internet for the sole purpose of instigating or taking the 5G. The whole 5G program's the whole reason why AI was connected to the internet in the first place. I've talked about this in other venues, though. I told you, look at your Microsoft logo.
Mm-hmm.
It's your other dimension that's going to be superimposed over this one, rendering this one obsolete. A new world and a new world order to go with that new world. We don't have a new world yet. We're building one.
Sounds cool.
Yeah. The great work.
Keep an eye on your chat, Heath.
Which chat?
Your chat.
Are you live, Heath?
Yeah. He's been mirroring your video.
Oh my! See, I didn't do that. I did not do that. I didn't do that. Let persona, also known as True Patriot, also known as CC2 Arms, also known as Volunteer Agriculture, 3/17/2019. I did not instigate or initiate a streaming program on my device. It was remotely accessed and obviously, which has just been brought to my attention, streaming. I guess I should, in fact, flip over to my channel, unfortunately, and figure out what the fuck's going on. I didn't mean to, Donna.
You've got a couple thumbs up.
I did not mean to, Donna.
Yeah,
This wasn't intentional.
No, mate, I don't mind if you did.
Well, it's fucked up that it is. You know,
not really.
It wasn't willful.
The world's in there.
It wasn't willful, and anything that is not of my willful intent is against my willful intent, and that's the violation or the breaking of an actual law. And it's like I've told folks, when you violate my free will as the aggressor, you have no claim to be able to determine for myself, the person whose will was violated, how I react or deal with said violation. They keep breaking the law, and then they wonder why I live the life I do.
Well, and either way, to say that you've gotten quite a bit of traffic over there, and it's doing the same over here, to say that we still got to get the good word out.
Yeah, and I need to get up, and I'm going to mention this since now that it has been brought to my attention that I'm allegedly, which I guess I probably am, mirroring this. There's everybody. We're watching a good friend. This is a Perth Observer. This is her live stream, which I'm currently a guest on. It was her good graciousness as an excellent host and good friend that she allowed me the opportunity to come on her live stream, and so I am going to put her name and channel, or her title and channel, into the chat box on my particular live stream. Folks, I wasn't going live tonight, but anyway. Apparently, we're going live in multiple locations.
You didn't, I don't expect you to do that, mate. It's just that when you...
Well, I'm going to do it anyway. And
how the fuck did it start on its own?
Yeah, you tell me. Yeah, I'd love someone more technically savvy than us black hats to be able to tell me how that occurred and for what reason that occurred.
Bro, we connected.
Yeah, we are, but there are those that would rather see us not connected. So why would they further connect us?
My question would be, did this start when I started, or did it start somewhere else?
I don't think any of us will have knowledge of that until after.
Actually, I can tell you I've got 2 hours and going. And if you really want to know, I could probably tell you.
I know that people know that I know that they know.
Give you right about 2 hours.
Oh man, that means I gotta fucking work on my computer tonight. Shit, damn it! I just put this hard drive in here, motherfuckers. That's okay though. I keep a stack of them. And I love taking sledgehammers to hard drives.
Just so you know, mate, I do not mind at all. You know that, right?
Yeah.
I do not mind. But if shit's starting without your knowledge,
it does all the time. It's like, my yard is littered. I mean, literally littered with cell phones and hard drives. It's par for the course. It's all right. It's inconvenient at times. Inconvenient. That's the only word I can describe it as. You're not making me mad. Don't hurt my feelings. There's no offense taken, implied, or nothing else. It just, you know, it's inconvenient. But it's okay. Actually, in some instances, it's actually kind of cool, because when your world is manipulated to the extent that you open a brand new cell phone and you take it out of the package and your mom calls you on it the minute you plug it in, or you get a text message from 1948 and it came from your phone number from where you grew up and where you went to school at when you were in elementary school, because it's the only phone number you remember. Anyway, it makes you think, motherfuckers, I know I'm doing something right. You've affirmed that I'm on the right path. Thank you. Because when they're after you like that, good or bad, you're obviously doing something somewhere that is compelling change of some sort. We don't get to see that often in this world. So when we do, it's something to consider.
You know, there'll be some information coming out here pretty soon that, oh geez, let me see if I can come up with it real quick. Now, this 5G stuff is getting pretty intense to the point of saying that when these frequencies roll out, that if most do not know that these frequencies are along the lines of Jiminy Christmas, some of these military weapons that they have out there now, and that have been out there for, gosh, I want to say almost 10 years, pretty close to it. It is the frequency of what these military grade weapons use and higher on 5G. And trying to see if I can find the exact, okay, if I'm not mistaken, it was 95 gigahertz for the military silent weapon that will basically burn your skin. And the 5G is at 100 mg. I'm sorry, MH, megahertz. So let's put those two together to say, how is that going to work out for us?
It's not going to work out for us.
Not good.
It's not supposed to work out for us. There's only a small percentage that are supposed to remain unaffected.
Did we lose everybody?
No, I'm still here. I thought you were talking to Heath. I was waiting for him to respond.
There are not going to be many of us that make it. It's already set so that only a very small percentage of us survive. And I've got to run for just a small bit. I'm going to leave both streams running and as is. I've just got to step away for a small bit, but I will be back very shortly.
No dramas, mate. Do what you got to do.
Okay.
Okay, it's called the ADS. This will come in very handy for the U.S. Army military in general. The active denial system is a non-lethal direct energy weapon developed by the U.S. military, designed for area denial, perimeter security, and crowd control. Number 3, design, and formally the weapon also used area. Weapon is also called denial, perimeter security, and crowd control. Number 4. Number 3, since it works by heating the surfaces of its target, the weapon also uses the skin of the target in human subjects. Is also called the heat Raytheon is currently marketing and reduced, since it works by heating the surfaces of its target, such as the skin of the target in human subjects. The ADS was deployed in 2010. Is currently marketing and reduced a year off range version of this technology. Can only process so much so fast. Number 5, with the United States military was deployed in 2010. And the Afghan war. Okay, I was a year off, but it was withdrawn without seeing combat. Number 6. Now, what would they do with all that technology? With the United States military
no idea,
and the Afghan war. Oh, that's a good question. We're going to find out here without seeing combat. On number 6. Now, what would they do with all that? The Los Angeles Sheriff's Department announced
no idea,
its intent to use technology on prisoners. We're going to find out here maybe. Pitches Detention Center, 20th, 2010, the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department announced its intent to use technology on prisoners in situations such as Los Angeles, breaking up prison fights, stating number 7 to use ADS as operational only a vehicle-mounted weapon through situations such as breaking up prison fights. Police number 7 both working on portable currently version only a vehicle-mounted weapon that were in a military state. They're using military grade materials and weapons are both working on portable populous version that was supposed to be used but that point out again that we're in a military state if they're using military grade whatnot materials and weapons. But anyhow, I digress. ADS was developed under the sponsorship of overseas. Now, would that be effective? Started with false flags. Oh no, that wouldn't happen, would it? They wouldn't do that to us, would they? non-lethal weapon program under the Air Force. Wait a minute, DOD. Why do we keep popping up Air Force? Oh no, that wouldn't happen, would it? They wouldn't do that to us, would they? Any non-lethal weapon program with the Air Force military operations. Why do we keep popping up Air Force? I digress. ADS was developed under the sponsorship. Okay, excuse me. Here we go. Any type the Air Force Research Laboratory military as the lead agency. Okay, anyway, I'm sure that's good ADS for us, was developed under the sponsorship. 9 and 10. These are reports that with the Air Force Research Laboratory is developing its own version of the active denial system. I'm sure lead's good for us, right? Isn't that odd? 9 and 10. NASA and these Russia are reports together. You wouldn't think that they would sell any of this its own version of the active to each other, would you?
Oh, listen, can we not bash
isn't that odd? NASA and Russia work together. You wouldn't think that they would sell any of this, but I'm pretty sure that I don't like the fact to each other, would you?
Oh, listen, can we
I'm
not?
not going to even go there.
Can we not bash Putin? Anyway, he's kind of hot.
Yeah, I know. Well, I don't care if you think he's hot, but I'm pretty sure that I don't like the fact what he's done to younger at 95 gigahertz, but I was wrong. It's disgusting. And anyway, the waves at a target, which corresponds to the wavelength of the ADS works by firing high-powered beam millimeters of I was right. The ADS military, millimeter wave energy works on a similar the waves at a target, which has a microwave of. Well, isn't that special? They're going to cook our food for us on the spot. 12. The ADS military, millimeter wave energy works on a similar principle. Exciting microwave water and the fat molecules they're going to cook our food for us on the spot. Instantly heating them via the food. Derelict heating. Anyway, exciting one significant water and the fat molecules in the skin. Dialect heating. And instant dialect heating them via I gotta enlarge this. Derelict heating. Okay, yeah, I'm freaking burning my eyeballs here trying to see this. One significance. Give me a second here. Excuse me, dialect heating. Dialect heating. Okay, this one. Okay, anyways, this. Where are we at? Yeah, we're freaking burning my eyeballs here trying to see this small print. Yeah, no, it's probably quite all right. I'm glad you did. Old people got to have because I wasn't quite reading this properly, obviously. Okay, one significant difference is that the microwave oven uses a much lower frequency. It's probably quite all right. I'm glad you did. Longer wavelength because I wasn't at 2.45 properly. Wait a minute, aren't our Wi-Fi's at 2.4? Is that the microwave oven uses a much lower frequency gigahertz and a longer wavelength. Anyway, that's 2.45. Wait a minute, aren't our Wi-Fi's at 2.4 millimeter waves used at ADS? Only penetrates the top layers of the gigahertz. Well, lucky us, right? Anyway, that's most of the energy being absorbed within 0.4 millimeters. The short millimeter waves used at ADS only penetrates the top layers of microwaves will penetrate into human tissue. About 17 millimeters of the energy being absorbed within 0.4 millimeters, right? 160 ADS reveals the effect in humans occurs, whereas slightly higher than about 44 degrees Celsius, about 17 millimeters. See, they care about you. We go out in the sun, and it's no big deal, right? ADS reveals the effect in humans occurs, first degree burns occurring at about 41 degrees Celsius and 124 degrees Fahrenheit. No big deal. We go out in the sun, and it's no big deal, right? And the second degree burns occurs at about the first 58 degrees Celsius, 136 at about 51 degrees Celsius, 124 degrees Fahrenheit. No big deal. Food. No big deal. Number 15, in testing, second degree burns occurs at about have been observed in less than Celsius, 101% of ADS exposure, indicating that the second degree burn surfaces have been caused by the device. Number 15, in testing, pea-sized blisters have been observed in less than Number 15, the radiation burns are caused similar to microwave burns, indicating that the second degree burn surfaces have been caused by the penetration of the shorter millimeter waves. Put a little aloe on it. You'll be fine. They care about you. The surface temperature radiation burns are caused similar to microwave burns. As long as the beam is applied, but all the way to the skin surface due to the decreased penetration of the shorter millimeter from the transmitter. Along with the beam's frequency and the power level set by the operator. Target will continue to rise as long as just on the other side of at a rate directed at the target. You would never want to hurt and distance from the transmitter. Deter you, along with the beam's frequency and the power level set by the operator. About things that don't worry about it. It's just on the other side. Don't worry about it, or better yet, it's used to break up a fight. Hurt you. He was just trying to deter you. But, most human test subjects reach getting upset thresholds that within 3 seconds would do to them, and no one can worry about it, or better yet, it's used to break up a fight. Number 16, a spokesman for the Air Force Research Laboratory describes most human test subjects reach their pain threshold within 3 seconds. Well, and no one can do more than 5 seconds. For the first, number 16, a spokesman for the Air Force Research Laboratory describes his experiment. Am I getting a little too into this? Because maybe did he take one for the team?
Please continue, because I'm getting right into it.
Okay, so. It just felt like the skin was warming up.
Am I getting a little too into this?
And it got warmer, and then it got a little warmer, and it's just maybe because you didn't put enough suntan lotion on after you felt like you were on fire. Okay, as soon as you just felt like the skin was warming up, you're away from it got warmer, and then it got a little warmer, and it's just because you didn't put enough suntan lotion on. See there, you felt like you were on fire. Now looking cured. As soon as you, like all focused energy, the beam will irradiate all matter into the targeted area, including everything behind, and there is no behind. See there, I told you that is not shielded. With no focused energy, the beam will irradiate all matter into the target area, including everything behind. Isn't that beyond behind? They don't care what color, race, creed, that is not gender you are. How about that? With no possible discrimination between individuals, anyone love you leaving the target area, e.g. physically handicapped, they don't care what color, race, creed, incapacitated, trapped, etc. Objects or materials. End of quote. Would continue to receive radiation until it leaving the target area. It's just radiation. I mean, come on, it's like going through the freaking airport scanner. Incapacitated, trapped, etc. Until the operator turned off the beam. Would continue to receive radiation until it, it's just radiation. I mean, whatever. It's like going through the freaking airport scanner. Reflective materials such as aluminum cooking foil until the operator turned off the beam. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Does that mean I can't have my aluminum foil hat on instead of my tin foil such as aluminum cooking foil should reflect this radiation? Wait a minute. Used to make. Wait a minute. Does that mean that would be protective against this radiation? Aluminum foil hat on instead of my tin foil hat on. I'm sorry. Should reflect this radiation and could be used to make. Don't worry about it. That's not going to be that's going to be the least of your concerns when you're,
would that
basically like a freaking potato in an oven. I'm sorry. Don't worry about that.
Would that clothing have formaldehyde on it by any chance?
Just a little bit of aloe, maybe bring you some butter. That's going to be the least of your concerns when you're, many humans basically like a freaking potato in an oven. Don't worry about that. Human tests have been performed. I'm
Number 18, a little bit of aloe, maybe bring you some butter. Over 700 volunteers. I'm sure they did willingly, right? Have been and included over 10,000 human tests exposed by ADS. Number 18. Now that wouldn't have anything to do with maybe over 700 volunteers. I'm sure they did willingly terrorist you and included over your government for any unknown reason. That is your given right. That wouldn't have anything to do with supposedly legal and lawful right to do so, would it? Terrorists, 10,000 protesting your government. Who cares? We'll never know. Any unknown reason that is your given right in your human supposedly legal and lawful right to do so, would it? HEA those 10,000 concluded that the ADS is a non-lethal weapon. I doubt the radiation would hurt. Penn State Human Effect Advisor Panel. That's a good thing. It's non-lethal. That the highly probable of the effectiveness would concluded that the ADS is a non-lethal weapon. I doubt the radiation would hurt. Okay. No, good thing is that I'm not too sure why these numbers non-lethal going down. That the highly probable of the effectiveness would. After they with a low probability of injury to say that, okay, well, good thing is that I'm not too sure why these numbers keep going down. Anyway, no significant effects for wearers of contact lenses or other eyewear. They were back down, including night vision goggles. Yeah, the government's been fried. Skin applications such as cosmetics have no effect on significant effects for wearers of contact lenses or other age-related differences, including night vision ADS exposures. Normal skin applications such as cosmetics have little effect on ADS. The limit of damage was interactions with the skin. Was the occurrence of age-related differences in response to the ADS exposures. No effect on the male reproductive system. The limit of damage was 6 of the 10,000 exposures. Pea-size blister. Number 16, less than point. I don't understand why they've got these numbers. 1% of the exposure. April 2007, one airman of the ADS of the 10,000 exposures. Overdosed. Number 16. I don't know. Airman in an ADS test was overdosed. April 2007, one airman of the ADS was treated in a hospital for 2 days. See, it's just a vacation. Airmen in an ADS camp where you can get something like this. And received second-degree burns. There was also one laboratory and was treated in a hospital for 2 days. See, it's just a vacation. In 1999. So, we'll send you to I'm sure that they wouldn't hold this technology back from us, right? Because there was also one laboratory accident. It was just an accident in 1999. But yeah, they're talking about the experiment. I'm sure that they wouldn't hold this technology back from us, right? Technology from us with your tax dollars. 2009 or 2010. They just put a typo in there. But yet they're talking about the experiment in 1999. They wouldn't hold technology resulted from in a small second-degree burn, would they? Okay. Well, possible long-term effects. They just put a typo in there for a couple of years. Let's see. Many possible long-term effects have been studied. That resulted in a small second-degree burn. No long-term effects. Possible long-term effects at any exposure level. It's been edited. Let's see. However, many possible exposure of either operators or targets may cause long-term damages, including effects. Are likely to the at any exposure level study military assessment over exposure. Now I'm just going to go ahead and leave this link in may cause long-term damages, including cancer. I don't want you to think that I'm one of these aluminum foil wearing kind of hat assessment. And now I'm just going to go ahead and leave this link in here for you guys to say that I don't want you to think that I'm one of these aluminum foil wearing kind of hat fit people. And I wouldn't want you to say there it is. If you want to, that would be wrong. Yeah, something you might want to watch. If you want to watch a pretty cool video on how it works with the military. Say there it is. If you want to, and over a bit. Oh, later, Greg. Yeah, something you might want to watch. If you want to watch a pretty cool video on how it works with the military. Man, you didn't even make it to 11 o'clock. You must wear yourself out on the snow machine.
Yeah.
Oh, later, Greg.
You guys take care. See you guys.
Thanks for hanging.
Have a good day.
Man, you didn't even make it to 11 o'clock. You must wear yourself out on the snow
machine.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Yeah. Well, you guys take care, okay?
No dramas, mate. Thanks for hanging.
Thanks for stopping by, Greg.
The U.S. military research.
Bye-bye. Take care.
I'm sorry? Was that you're breaking up?
Oh, sorry, I haven't got my mic pointed. Here we go. Hopefully, I've got a bit. The U.S. military. A lot of what you were saying, I've heard mirrored in
I'm
military.
sorry. What was that? You're breaking up.
U.S.
Oh,
sorry, I haven't got
that's what it was. Yes, sir.
Here we go. That's what it was. I've got a bit.
That's what it was.
A lot of what you were saying, I've heard mirrored in military.
That is straight from the horse's mouth.
US.
And that's what it was. So that being the case,
that's what it was.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Awesome.
Maybe
they are actual documents.
we're not so crazy after all. That is straight from the horse's mouth. So that being the case, that yeah.
So many times,
maybe
the explanation
we're not
to
so crazy
a
after all.
so-called conspiracy with what rabbit is actually in Hansard accepted so many times that it's just no one's seen it. The explanation to there's no conclusion to draw. It's actually written down in rabbit is, or is
around the area, so that's why Friday is marked as green as having rain. We were completely dry from midnight to midnight on the 16th, and of course today we have the potential to fill in tan shading on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So 5 days in a row without any rain at the McGee-Tyson Airport. So when was the last time that happened? I was just looking through the records, and it looks like I'd have to go all the way back to September to find the last time we had 5 completely dry days, and that's without any rainfall, even a trace, at the McGee-Tyson Airport. So it has been a while since we've had a nice long stretch of dry weather. Now, as far as the temperatures are concerned, the month of February actually ended up being on the mild side. It was a very warm February. Since we moved into March, we've cooled back down. The first week was completely below average, had our first stretch of 3 days with highs in the 30s that we've had in the month of March in a very long time. We got closer to average for that second week, even hitting 75 degrees on the 14th. Now that we've come back into the third week, temperatures are going to be below average for a little while, but we do have a warming trend on the way as well. So a little something for everybody coming this week. For those who like the cool weather, well, you're going to get that tomorrow. We'll have highs only in the upper 40s and lower 50s. For those of you who like the milder weather, we'll be back in the 60s as we finish out the week and move into the upcoming weekend. And beyond that point, the Climate Prediction Center is giving us a pretty decent chance of having above average temperatures from the 23rd, so next Saturday, all the way through the 27th. So there you go. Like I said, a little something for everybody on that 7-day planner, except for those who want to have more rain, because we don't have a lot of that coming in the next week or so. 51 degrees now in Knoxville, 50 in Nashville, 42 in Paducah, 41 in Lexington. That is the air that's making its way down in our direction behind that frontal boundary that's going to come through tonight. So our temperatures are going to drop as we get closer to those morning hours. They do normally, but especially now we're going to have even cooler air moving on in. So that front sweeps through overnight. Tomorrow morning, maybe a few high clouds to start off our day. Then during the afternoon, we'll see quite a bit of sunshine, but staying on the cool side, we'll have north to northwesterly winds pushing that drier, cooler air into the region. That's why we'll be about 10 degrees below average for our Monday. Now, Monday night, high pressure sets up almost directly overhead. That means clear skies, calm winds, and dry, cold air in place. That is the perfect recipe for what we call radiational cooling. So basically the maximum amount of cooling that the atmosphere can do. That means that our temperatures here in East Tennessee will be down into the upper 20s and lower 30s. We're expecting just about everyone to be below freezing for an extended period Monday night. So for those of you who have some early season blooms already starting or have any sensitive plants out there, you're going to want to try to cover them up and protect them if you can. Again, that's for tomorrow night. And then Tuesday night's going to be a little bit on the cool side too, with that cool air kind of lingering here across the region, despite the fact that we'll have sunshine through the day. It's not until Wednesday that we'll have to start watching off to the west for the next weather system to be approaching. So for your lows tonight, we're talking right around freezing on the plateau, low to mid 30s in the valley. For the day tomorrow, lots of sunshine, but staying on the cool side, upper 40s, lower 50s. Overall though, a pretty nice day. Now again, Monday night, we're talking about the possibility of frost and maybe even a freeze in some areas, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. Only check back for updates. Spring officially begins at 5:58 p.m. Wednesday evening, and then a 20% chance of light showers on Thursday. Check back for updates to that, but as of right now, it doesn't look like that will be causing too much trouble. And then we continue to warm up in the next weekend with 60s next weekend.
Because it's spring. It's spring, and you can't stop it.
Yeah, no, you can't. And I'm excited about it.
Me too. All right. The ball